You have 5 custom trippy effects in Premiere Pro, and if you're interested in creating an effect like this, stay tuned to the end of the video and I'm going to show you how you can create something like this. So without much further ado, let's dive into Premiere Pro. The first effect we are going to be talking about is a Turbulent Displays, and what this does is that it gives your graphics or the video clip you're working with a water-like look. That is, it tries to create some kind of wavy effects on top of the graphics or the video clip. In Premiere Pro, this is a clip that I want to apply the trippy effect to, and I have an adjustment placed on it. It's preferable to add your effects on top of an adjustment layer rather than the clip itself. To have an adjustment layer here, you just go to your project manager, you right click on it, then you go to new item and you'll find the adjustment layer here, and you can position it wherever you want. Adding a Turbulent Displays or any other effect, you can move on to the effects panel, and if you can't find this effects panel here, under the window you will find all of the panels that you need to work with in Premiere Pro, and this is the effects panel here which is activated. You can see the shortcut here which is Shift 7. Come here and I'll search the Turbulent Displays. With the adjustment layer selected, you simply double click on the effect here and it will be automatically added to the adjustment layer. Under this effects controls, you will find the Turbulent Displays, and if you notice my clip here, you will see that the effect is already taking place. So if I hide this is the original view, and when I activate this is the effect taking place, and you see it creates some kind of wave effects on top of the video clip. Under this Turbulent Displays here, we have so many other options under this displacement. So when you click here, you see other options like the budge, the twist, turbulent smoother, and so on. So you can play around with all of these options to create a unique effect for your video clip. So if I click, let's say, on its twist here, it changes the wave. You can increase the amount or you can reduce it depending on the look you're going for. Same thing with this size, the offset, the complexity, the evolution, and all of these effects here. So that's it about the Turbulent Displays. Play around with all of these properties and see what you can come up with, and you can even animate the properties to have a unique looking effect to your videos. Next, we have the lens distortion. So with this effect, it bends the edges of our video clip or the graphics. That is, you can bend it upward, downward, left or right depending on the look you're going for. I'll be using the same adjustment layer and the same video clip to add in the lens distortion. So I'm going to click on this adjustment layer and I'll delete this Turbulent Display. I'm going to search lens distortion. Double click on it again to add it. So under the effects control, this is where the fun part begins. So with this lens distortion, you'll find all of the properties that comes with the lens distortion, like this curvature and so on. So if you increase this amount here, you see how it bends the images from top, right, bottom, all over to have this kind of curvature effect around the video clip. Now if I bring this back to 0, reduce this, it now bends the image inwardly, not outwardly. This is for outward bending and this is for inward bending, making it to zoom in. Next we have this vertical decentering. You can also increase it like this way or this way. It simply just bends the images. That is the main thing you should have in mind to bend your video clip or your graphics that you're working with. Moving forward, we have the echo effect. With the echo effect, it simply duplicates everything that you added to. Say for example, you added to a text, it creates duplicates of the text. And if you add it to a video clip, it will create duplicates of the video clip. But for this tutorial, I'll be using the text to demonstrate the echo effect. But the first thing you need to do is that you need to add in a basic property like the position, the scale, or rotation. So I've added in the position and it moves upward and downward, something like this, so that it will create the duplicate and it will be visible for you to see. I'm going to drag in this adjustment layer here and position it on top of the text, and I'll remove any effect that is found on the adjustment layer like this lens distortion here and delete it. So I'll search echo, then double click on it to add it to the adjustment layer, and immediately you've seen that it has created a duplicate of this text. The number of echoes is 1. That is why I have just 1 here. So if I increase this to about, let's say, 3, you will see that the number of echoes, the number of duplications will increase. Then you can play around with these numbers here. You can change the echo time, the starting intensity, the decay, the echo operator. You can set it to maximum, minimum, screen, and so on. Then one thing here is this decay that I love so much. If I set this value to 0.7, it will reduce the opacity of each duplicate. The next effect is the overlay patterns. So you can use these overlay patterns to texturize your video clips or your graphics in Premiere Pro. In Premiere Pro, this is the texture that I'll be working with. So I'll position it over the same video clip that I have here, and I'm just going to extend it to fill up everything. So this is the texture here, but it does not cover up everything, so I can rotate it 90 degrees and scale it up. So to create the overlay pattern is very easy in Premiere Pro. Change the blend mode to match up with the video clip, and by default you always like to choose the multiply blend mode. So I'm going to select the texture layer, and under this effects control, as usual, I'll move down to the opacity, and under the opacity you will find the blend mode. So the blend mode here, I'm going to click and then I'll go to multiply, and immediately you notice you won't see anything here, but the texture is there. So if I hide this layer, you see that there is a difference, and you can change this blend mode. Let's see if I set it to screen, okay, or let's say to like overlay. All depends on what you're going for. You can still set it to like a screen, but since it's too bright, you can now reduce the opacity of the texture to match it up. So that's how you can go around texturing your graphics or your video clips in Premiere Pro. All you need to change is the blend mode and the opacity. You just need to play around with those two options, and you have perfect texture for your graphics or your video clip in Premiere Pro. And last but not least, we have color animation. So you can animate your colors of your video clips from one color to another using keyframe. I'm going to remove this texture here because I'll need to use this video clip, and I'll position my adjustment layer. So I'm going to remove this echo effect here because I don't need it anymore. To animate the color, the first thing I'm going to do is to move to the lumetri color. You can animate any of these properties. And the one I want to animate is a tint here. Reduce this to green. Immediately as you reduce this to green here, you will find the lumetri effect under this effects control, and this is where you can animate the property. So moving down to this basic correction, you will find the color here, and you'll still find all of the options: the temperature, the tint, and saturation. Position my playhead here and then set in the first keyframe for the tint. Then I move somewhere around here and I'll set another keyframe. I can simply animate the colors. So on this keyframe here, I can like increase the value to be pinkish, and then for this other keyframe here, I can make it to be green. I don't know why, maybe you want your water to be green or something, and there we have it. Animating the colors of our video clips in Premiere Pro. One thing you've noticed is that all of these effects are not really hard to achieve. But if someone does not tell you that this is possible or this is found here in Premiere Pro, you won't have any idea that you can add something like this to your videos. And you'll be amazed with what you will find, because there are so many things here that you can achieve. You just need to keep practicing every day, playing around with all of these properties. Even the ones I've shown you are just the tip of the iceberg. You can explore it more and more, and you discover more properties that you can play around with to add in more effects and make your videos to be more interesting. That's it for today's video. Hope you found this video useful and interesting. To recap what we've learned today, we talked about 5 custom trippy effects in Premiere Pro. The first being the Turbulent Displays, which gives your video or your graphics a water-like look. We talked about the Lens Distortion, which bends the edges of your video clips, giving it some kind of curvature effect to it. Then we talked about the echo effect, which add in duplicates of the clip you're working with. We talked about overlay patterns, which you can use to texturize your video clips in Premiere Pro or anything you're working with by simply changing the blend mode, and in some cases you need to change the opacity of the texture. And last but not least, we talked about the color animation to change the color of your video clip from one color to another using keyframes in Premiere Pro. If you use at least one of these in your projects, leave your feedback in the comment section below, and I'll be there to always read your comments and leave your feedback on your comment. Subscribe so you won't miss the next video from me, and like the video to support the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, keep editing.